1 minute to post time, approaching the gate. Stay here, that's the post. Now they're moving into the gate. Open range.
Hello, Billy Ho here, and we are doing a post-draw analysis for Preakness 148. Before we get started, we have an 8-horse field drawn in. Mage is the only one that is actually raced in the Kentucky Derby, the winner, obviously. Today, we're going to talk about which one of the new shooters has the best shot to knock off Mage. We're also going to go over all the horses in the field, horse by horse. So be sure to stick around because I obviously have a new top 5 because I believe 2 of my top 5s didn't enter the race. So stick around for that. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button for me. I certainly do appreciate that. Thank you to all the new subscribers and all the commenters. Leave some comments down there. Let me know what you're thinking what you think about the post draw, because there's an 8-horse field. It's really not that big of a deal like it is with the Derby when you have 18-20 horses, but it is position matters at a race course like Pimlico, and I will cover the track and distance in here in just a second. So actually, without further ado, let's go. All right. This is the preview article that I normally work on. I have not updated it yet with the new post-draw and findings. I thought this week would be a good week to get that going. So I'll get after that later today. I'll get it published and I'll put it in the description if you'd like to read it. That's totally up to you. That's just something that helps me process things and work out details in my head. And, just the practice my writing skills, all that kind of good stuff. So before we get into the horses, like I said, I wanted to touch on the specs of the Preakness and the race course. The Preakness is obviously run at 1 mile and 3/16, which is just a half furlong shorter than the Kentucky Derby. That's A. B is the dirt surface at Pimlico is actually the same surface as Churchill Downs, but the difference is it's a bit firmer, so the horses are going to be able to get better traction and run faster. So that you saw how fast it ran at the Derby, so this is going to be even faster on a fast track. And it does look like, it's too early to predict the weather. I think there might be some AM showers in the forecast, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I wouldn't even worry about that till Friday. So we're just going to treat it as a fast track and firm. So, okay. Now looking at the past performances here, we have first up, obviously we're going to start with the 8-5 favorite Mage. Well-deserved. He drew the number 3 post. And so what we're going to do here is not spend a whole lot of time on Mage. He's trained by Gustavo Delgado. He's going to be ridden again by Javier Castellano, who rode a brilliant race. Mage is a closer, but I do think that Mage can flip the script on the racing style and get up there close to the front. So basically, in the last 10 years at the Preakness, the winner was close to the early pace 9 times. 3 horses won on the front end. Justify, American Pharaoh, along with Oxbow. Last year, early voting pressed the pace and then moved to the lead after sitting a close second for the first 6 furlongs. So stalkers have been the most common, with 5 winners in the early going. Exaggerator came from more than 11 lengths behind to find the winner's circle as the only deep closer in 2016. So basically with this information, I think Mage has to adjust his style a bit. He started slowly in his last 2, coming from well back. Like I said, the 3 posts should be fine. He had this other bad start. I wanted to just take a quick look at the Fountain of Youth Stakes, and where he hit the gate and got bumped at the start. But he rushed up to a stalking position, as you can see here. He keeps pace all the way into the final turn for home. But when Forte comes around his outside and makes his move, he has to like kind of slightly check up a bit, and that kind of cost him the race, in my opinion. I don't think he wins it anyway. But seeing as I don't think he'll have any issue being up near the lead if the connections decide to do that. I can't possibly see them breaking from dead last and trying to make a run. So that's what we're looking at here. Basically, what we're going to do here, uh, that we're going to go over the odds as we go. So 8-5 favorite. First Mission is 5-2. National Treasure 4-1. Blazing Seven 6-1. Red Route 1 10-1. Perform is 15-1. Coffee with Chris 20-1. And 50-1 long shot Chase the Chaos after that. So breaking from the 8 post, next up is First Mission. And I'll peel down here so you can see First Mission's past performances, including that win in the Grade 3 Lexington Stakes a few weeks ago. Excuse me. First Mission, trained by Brad Cox, going to be ridden by Luis Saez. Second fastest Beyer speed figure with a 98 next to the 105 that Mage earned in the Derby. So that's pretty positive. The 35-day layoff with a little extra rest is an advantage, I think, over Mage's 2-week layoff. But the outside 8 post is a bit of a negative. It's not a huge deal, but it is a little bit. Bringing from the outside on a fast track, it is a bit of a negative. Has been training very well with a sharp 5 furlong workout at Churchill Downs. So I think definitely in the mix. The next horse I wanted to talk about is the Bob Baffert trained National Treasure. And we'll peel up here for that. And National Treasure, I really didn't look at too closely in the beginning because I thought fourth place finish behind the 3 other shippers in the Santa Anita. What that didn't look all that impressive, but it wasn't a bad race. So he got a 95 Beyer for that fourth place effort. And on Santa Anita, I always feel like that's a super fast track. Horses look like they're just flying whenever I watch races there. So anyway, third best Beyer anyway. The big thing is the 1 post position, and also they're putting blinkers back on for the horse. So what that means to me is the blinkers back on is going to be in an attempt to get him to the early lead. And breaking from the number 1 post, if you see right here at Pimlico, is an advantage. Rail post winning at a 29% clip. That's a pretty significant percentage. I sometimes look at these stats in the past performances and I pay attention to some of them and then I don't to others. Like may improve with blinkers added today. And then, oh no, it's poor blinker back on trainer record, 8%. But how many times, I don't know, the percentages of when they put a horse on blinkers and then they take them off and then they put them back on and all that stuff. So that's kind of a noisy stat in my opinion. But I do like that they're putting blinkers back on in an effort to dial him in and breaking from the 1 post right to the lead. That could be an advantage for this horse. He does have some speed, so we'll just have to see. He's definitely a contender. Hint, hint. And now down here we're going to go to Blazing Sevens, and okay, Blazing Sevens will break from the number 7 post. He is trained by Chad Brown and ridden by Irad Ortiz. Ran evenly in his last race at Keeneland. Was a distant third in that bluegrass to Tappet Trice and Verifying. 6-1 horse. I don't know. This one I'm having trouble finding it. Deep closer could be, I mean, the breaking out of the five hole, I guess, or I'm sorry, post position seven. I don't think matters. Uh, I don't see enough speed here. You can always obviously see best speed rating is well below the average winning speed of the race. So I don't know. Maybe the closer can pick up some pieces down the road, but I'm not optimistic on his chances. I do like the fact that Chad Brown has a plan. He skips the Derby a la early voting, and I was on early voting in the Preakness, so I won a little money there. So I do like that same running back style, but does he do it 2 years in a row? That's pushing it. So anyway, Blazing Sevens is going to be a virtual toss for me. I think. Uh, I'm just not seeing it. And you guys leave me a comment. Try to change my mind. See what you guys got going on out there. The next one is Red Route One. Red Route One is breaking from the five hole, trained by Steve Asmussen and ridden by Joel Rosario. I like how he bounced back from that sluggish sixth place finish at the Arkansas Derby. He didn't look very good in that race, just never fired. A deep closer, so he was in position to close, but then just flattened out late. But he bounced back strong. And I'm going to show you that down the stretch here real quick. He hits coming from last to first. He hits the stride late here and charges hard, and I guess gets the head up. It would look like a really, really close race to me, but the photo did show he got the head up. So Bathhouse Stakes, it is what it is. It's a 200K stakes race, but it was a sharp work, So if he can improve off that effort, I think he can be in contention to hit the board at a decent price. That's what I'm looking for, is trying to find some value in this race. And I think Red Route One can do that for us. The next up is Perform. And Perform was the horse I showed you last video, trained by Shug McGahee and ridden by Fergal Lynch. So if you watched that last video, you saw that wild winning trip in the Frederico Stakes, weaving in and out of traffic and all that good stuff. Well, McGahee is a 21% with the winners, like the winners of the last race, which is kind of cool. Moves up in class, but the speed figures aren't the best. But it could be a sleeper. Like I said, it's going to have to make a major improvement to contend, but it does seem like the horse is a bit of a late bloomer anyway. So that was the maiden breaker, the one before the Frederico. So maybe it's a fast, these horses age exponentially, as 3 year olds this time of the year. So depending on when they were actually born, that it could be just, hitting some maturity. So anyway, I give a decent chance to be in the mix for Perform as a long shot. So I think others probably agree. The next horse is I believe the number 4 horse we'll talk about here, Coffee with Chris. Trained by John Salzman and ridden by Jamie Rodriguez. He was actually in that Frederico Stakes, 5th place. So beaten by weaker, you can see these negative stats. Beaten by weaker, poor speed figures, best speed rating well below, poor routes, trainer record. I believe a California shipper. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about that actually. My apologies. Anyway, all those, just don't lend me to believe. I'm not feeling it. It's a toss for me, just to speed up the finish here. So, and the next one actually is another toss. Chase the Chaos. Just not. This is the California poor shipper, beaten by a weaker, poor speed figures, poor shipper. It's got a hot jockey, and obviously the trainer's having a pretty good run at the current moment, but just not for me. So I'm definitely ending it on a sour note with the two worst horses in my opinion. But you know that's going to sum it up for the show. And what I'll leave you with is this new top five. I now have, of course, Mage is still number one. I now have National Treasure number two because I like the inside post and the blinkers. First Mission is number three. Red Route 1 is number four, and I am putting the Long Shot Perform fifth still. So I think we could find a way to get some value later on in the week. Be sure to hit the notification bell because I'm going to do the betting strategy show toward the end of the week. And we may actually do some other races on like even Black Eyed Susan Day and maybe some of the stakes races on Preakness Day. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, we'll see you soon. I appreciate you watching.